Hello everyone, this is Angela and welcome to my channel, Angie the ENTJ. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment and click on the notifications bell so that you will know whenever I upload any new content. So, I was browsing over on TikTok and I saw a dialogue between Charlemagne Tha God from The Breakfast Club and Dr. Umar Johnson. Okay, and during this dialogue, Dr. Umar Johnson made a statement that, quote, monogamy is not natural to alpha males. And he went further to say, even within the animal kingdom, and I'll end quote that. So I found Dr. Umar Johnson's statement to be very interesting, considering that I love nature and I watch a lot of Discovery Channel, a lot of National Geographic programs, a lot of Smithsonian programs, Animal Planet, you name it. I go on nature walks, and I enjoy going to zoos and aquariums. I also like plants and flowers and trees. I love nature. So, and here's one of the main reasons why I love nature so much. I love nature because nature always reveals the truth. Nature does not care about people's thoughts or feelings. Nature is not following any social rules, any religion, any philosophy. Nature just does what nature does, and nature does it in plain sight. So I thought, why don't we see how Dr. Umar's declarative statement about alpha males and polygamy holds up within nature? So, first, let's watch this clip between Charlemagne Tha God and Dr. Umar Johnson. And then afterwards, we'll see how his statement appears in nature. Okay? So here's Charlemagne Tha God and Dr. Umar.
Dr. Umar, it's rumored that you have more than one wife. I don't know if that's true or not.
I've never been married.
Oh, okay. That wasn't...
But I will have 2 queens.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So is polygamy more realistic?
I think we have to understand that monogamy is not natural to alpha males. This is not only
I'm baiting
true.
That's what you lost me there, man.
This is not only true amongst human beings, even within the animal kingdom.
Okay.
The alphas tend to have more than one spouse. And if you also look at women, as much as they may chide polygyny, many women will date an alpha male with another woman if she's attracted to him. Just look at the amount of women who date married men, but at the same time say they're against plural marriage.
Whenever a dude quotes the animal kingdom when he's talking about sex, that dude's
I'm back. So now that we have heard Dr. Umar Johnson's declarative statement about alpha males and polygamy, even within the animal kingdom, let's proceed to a video of one of the most prized alpha males on the planet, the king of the jungle, even though they actually live in grasslands, the lion, along with his harem of females. And afterwards, I will come back with my commentary. back, y'all. I'm back. So, what these polygamy peddlers want you to believe is that it is okay for a man to have access to as many women as he chooses to. Meanwhile, all of the women are supposed to be monogamous to him. And that is because of this dumbfounded idea that the masculine is dominating and domineering and the feminine is submissive. Right? Well, nature shows us something different. Okay? And so, in anyway, this is what Umar implies with his declarative statement about alpha males. You know, that these dominant males are supposed to have all the feminine. Meanwhile, the feminine is supposed to be just loyal and monogamous to them. No. He then uses the misdeeds of women who will date rich married men as an example of how polygamy is more quote-unquote natural than monogamy. Okay? What he didn't do was say that the majority of women, when I polled them, or when I went to something like a Pew Research report and saw that the majority of women were okay with polygamy, he didn't come like that. He used the misdeeds of a mistress going with a rich married man in order to justify this idea that polygamy is natural. Okay? However, in nature, you can clearly see that when the quote-unquote alpha male is polygamous, then the females in his harem are also not monogamous. See, after the alpha male is well drained, he can't go no more, the feminine instantly got her needs met, and in front of his face via another so-called alpha male. So what nature is showing us is that when the feminine is in a polygamous marriage with a so-called alpha male, that she also can have a boy toy and a sugar daddy too. Okay? See, this is the side of the alpha male argument that polygamy peddlers often leave out in an attempt to justify having access to numerous women while simultaneously expecting monogamy from those numerous women. And it just is not going to work. See, within nature, first off, the birth ratio is 1-to-1 on average globally. And this is not just for the human population. This is also for animals. This means that basically for every one male that is born, there is a female that is born as well. And I would even go so far as to say within the human population, on average globally nowadays, that ratio is more like 105, 106 boys for every 100 girls born. So today, for every number of boys and girls born, okay, there are going to be more boys born than girls. And 20 years from now, when all of these babies become reproductive age, you know, it's not like you can make a 20-year-old overnight. It takes time. They have to be conceived, incubated, birthed, and then they have to be reared, right? So what are all these people going to do 20 years from now when there are not enough women for these men to partner up with, even in monogamy? And that's where we sit right now. That is where we sit right now. Okay? And going back to why I'm pointing this out, if nature intended for the feminine to be monogamous, while simultaneously expecting for an alpha male to be polygamous, there would be no other males waiting to compete with the alpha male. You wouldn't have these other males on the sidelines roaming around close to the family group waiting for that alpha male to not see them coming and knock him off his throne. It wouldn't exist. Because, see, the birth ratio would be more like one male for every 9 to 10 females, just using that as an example. However, nature consistently shows a ratio of one male for every one female. Okay? And in the human race, thanks to misogynistic fueled female infanticide, along with femicide, among other things, witch hunts, honor killings, domestic violence, you name it, the gender ratio is out of balance, and there is a global shortage of women and girls. Okay? And the shortage is so severe. For an example, if you were to pair every woman and girl on earth with a boy or a man on earth, okay, and you were to pair up all the girls and women that there are with a man, each one by one, okay, there would be a shortage of over 70 million women. This is because there would be over 70 million boys and men left who would be unpaired. And this problem is severe and causing a lot of issues globally. Okay? Anywhere from being these young men being permanent bachelors, and in more developed nations especially, they are being displaced. That's the real reason why your bros are getting passports. They're being displaced by competing males. So if misogyny never existed and women were never oppressed, then monogamy would be the norm. However, since males within societies that practice the routine oppression of women are overwhelmingly responsible for putting these girls and women into their early graves, now polyandry, that is a type of marriage involving one woman and multiple husbands. Polyandry is becoming more popular. Okay? So nature, through its birth ratio, is revealing that monogamy is the best way. However, when a society oppresses girls and women and does things that throws off the balance of the gender ratio, either by becoming this so-called alpha male that has to have a horde of women surrounding him to hide who he really is, but that's a whole nother topic. Or they engage in things such as committing femicide, then there will be a gang of horny, testosterone emboldened men who will be sitting on the sidelines waiting to move in on every opportunity to kick that alpha male off his throne and take his place. Which brings me to my final point. You see, nature shows that the burden is on the alpha male to perform his duties to his harem of females. He got to keep them well stroked. Okay, otherwise they're not going to be happy. And particularly with lionesses, if he's not keeping up, she'll bite him on the peanuts to say, "Hey, giddy up." Okay, if you know what I mean. So the burden is on him to keep the feminine impressed, and also to keep the other males away. It's not on the feminine. The feminine has absolutely nothing to do with it, with issues that go on between and within the masculine. What polygamy peddlers want you to believe is that the obligation is on the shoulders of women to engage in a non-stop task of ignoring the advances of other opportunistic males by being modest and lowering her gaze and maintaining this fidelity to a polygamous man. No. The reality is, mating competition is a masculine issue. It is not a feminine issue. If the masculine is not strong enough to keep his feminine counterpart relaxing in her nest with their offspring while she nurtures, if he is not impressive enough for her to remain interested in him, and especially if he's falling short on his duties, okay, nature does not require the feminine to remain by his side. Quite the contrary. Nature allows for a stronger masculine to take his place. And this is seen across multiple species of animals, from lions to tigers to horses to sheep, peacocks, you name it. This is even seen within humans, and this is why typically it's older men who are primarily responsible for sabotaging the lives of younger men. You see it. They give them this cockroach level advice, and by the time they have any sense about what they're doing, they already have felonies on them, or they already have a bunch of children Or they are already considered unattractive because they got baby mamas on the left and the right, and they're in debt, and they're not educated enough because these older males got them to drop out of school when they were in the 4th and 5th grade to, sell drugs and arms and things like that. So yeah, you see it in the human race too, and this is globally, but you can especially see it within Blackistan. So listen, women especially, take a cue from nature on how you were truly created. It is not your job to make it easier for a man to avoid confrontation with a stronger masculine. Nature designed him with a defense armor, with the stronger skeleton and the bigger muscles and the larger feet and hands and larger overall size and testosterone when compared to yourself. Your job is to nest with your offspring without one worry about resources. Because if he is not measuring up, then another masculine will come along and do it, for you. See, it is not up to you to help him to avoid being displaced by a stronger masculine. It is not up to you to be going 50-50 in a relationship, dressing in baggy, unattractive clothing, wearing plain hairstyles with no makeup, while he lies to you and tells you that you're doing it all in the name of the creator of nature, and that you're better than all the women who don't act like you, okay? When in reality, he knows that he's a weak masculine, and what he's doing is misusing you to appear strong in front of other masculines. Okay? Nature shows you that you're supposed to be your feminine self and ready to procreate, and that's if you choose to do so, only with the strongest and the best. And if he's not performing, then allow nature to take place and trade him in for a stronger masculine. So, what did Beyonce say to do a while back on her B-Day album? Ladies, go get your freakum dress on, okay? Go get your freakum dress on. And see, your freakum dress can be literal. Okay, you can, put your freakum dress on, but it can also be figurative too. Listen, travel, complete your degree if you need to, get the promotion on your job or open a business. Get your freakum dress on, because the more that you upgrade, the harder it becomes for him to gain access to you, the more that he would have to compete, and the more likely he will be put on the sidelines, okay? And here's why I say this. That's because for every polygamy peddling, 50-50 relationship demanding, baby daddy wannabe males out here, there are approximately 70 million more males to choose from. Look at it like that. And don't forget how they would rather give $500 super chats to deceased kittens, okay, who hated you and talked about not needing women. They'd rather do that than to be proper real men. So think about it like that. If you come across one of these polygamy peddlers, these 50-50ers, whoever they are, if we have intuition and we have feminine instinct. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. Just leave them on the sidelines where they belong. Okay? Because when you leave them on the sidelines, you know that they are too scared to come for a real man's throne. Let them stay on the sidelines talking about 50-50 and getting a passport. And see, with this global gender imbalance, there are currently going to be enough real men, more than enough, to choose from, okay, who will have the resources, who will not expect you to humiliate yourselves in order to be married to him. Okay, who will not have outside children and mistresses living around the corner from you, and so forth. There are real men out here who will provide, protect, and produce. Okay? See, the masculine is designed to compete, so let him compete. The masculine is like a muscle. Okay? He does not develop unless he's properly challenged. Just like the muscle. Got to put some weight on him. Got to put some burden on him. Got to get him to build up and bulk up. So challenge him. Get your freakum dress on, okay? And if he really wants you that bad, then he'll do whatever it takes to have you. Otherwise, he's a sideline dude, and leave him there. So that's all I have for now. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click the notifications bell so that you'll know whenever I upload any new content. Take care until next time.